as those kids. Those kids that cause trouble and commit crimes. Those kids that fail state tests and exacerbate the achievement gap. Those kids that do nothing and sit around during their summer. But tonight, we reclaim our kids. Because this summer, our kids registered 118 voters in disenfranchised, low-income communities throughout this city.
We know that our kids have the answers to all the problems that are out there. We know that our kids are the ones who can change this city and make it the city that we want to live in.
My name is Shaquita Evans.
What did it take to build this community garden?
But it took us like forever. Like we had to pull the grass up, and it was all these little bottles, and it was like really infested with drugs. Like you could tell, it's like really been a lot, through a lot. And we had to like rake it and get all the clay out of it. It was like a lot of work.
I'm excited about this new growth here in our community, in the neighborhood, and I hope that other neighborhoods can follow up the same way as we're doing right here.
This summer I've been just inspired almost every day by the kids that we work with. It's amazing knowing that coming into this, a lot of them had never really knocked on doors for any kind of community service, but our students adapted. They grew. I think that they became mature students in 8 weeks, more than I'd seen as a teacher in a year sometimes. I think they rose to the challenge, and more importantly, I think that they developed their own sense of identity and they found their own purpose in Baltimore City. And I think that a lot of our students don't necessarily know what they want to do in life, or they don't know how they can fit and be a good citizen. And I think that this summer a lot of them found that avenue.
In 1954, the Supreme Court issued its decision ending segregation in the Brown versus Board of Education ruling. It's 2011, and yet many of our schools remain de facto segregated. What is your specific plan to turn our schools into community schools where people feel safe and accepted?
April 24, 2011, a transgender woman named Chrissy Paulus was beaten until she had a seizure at McDonald's. What is your plan to ensure that the lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender community is safe and respected?
What are your plans on fixing this environmental injustice within low-income areas?
Well, judging from the response, the overwhelming love that we've received from talking to audience members and candidates themselves and other staffers on the candidates' teams, they were incredibly impressed and overwhelmed by the level of composure and the intellect and the stories that our students have, and it's something that I've always known because my bread and butter is teaching. I taught for 3 years in Baltimore City, so I've always known not the potential of my students, but the realities of my students. And for that to be apparent tonight and amplified tonight is incredibly encouraging.
I definitely learned the value of hard work and of teamwork and coming together, especially as a community. And I definitely learned that we can do it. If we want to make change, we definitely can do it. And this event here tonight proves it.